Buenos dias. Service sales as of today are $2,100,293. Obviously, we have 2 days left in the month with 9%. We're at 10% behind budget right now. All right, scrap on the west side from yesterday. You can come up right after the meeting at 54, 55, 65, 66, 68, 40. I'm sorry, I apologize. 55, 56, 59, 63, and 66. Sorry about that. Wait for a shift. And on the east side, press 26. And also, Jimmy, we can talk about production hours. I got a printout of how many production hours we ran yesterday. So we need to talk about that too. Okay. The only thing, maintenance, we can look at press 59. So if we can take a look at that right away. Okay.
All right, kind of things we got going on the big side. We need Julie. Let's see, Julie. Oh, that's right. She went the other way. We need to get the material for EL58 so we can get that started. Jimmy, 77 needs to go on to INS1 for a sample. Just need to start it off, run off 100 parts and ship them off to the Syncreator. 20, we need to get that up and running. I know there's not a process, so maybe one of you, either Jason or Ken, if you guys can help Jimmy get that started. We lost the process on that. And then obviously 14, we need to get running. Packy's trying to split the tip so he can clean them, but he can't get it to move with the mold, so he might have to die bar it a little bit. Still wouldn't move. All right, we'll have to take a look at that. 27's obviously hot, and then I don't see Frank Davis. Do you know if anybody's working on that end arm tooling for SY's Club? Do you know when we'll have that? Is it going to be weeks? Or is it going to be days? Okay. All right. Bob, did you have any rejects? Okay. Margarita was supposed to do pictures today, but she's in the other facility. Ken, you have pictures tomorrow, so we'll just need to be ready for that.
All right. One of the things, and I apologize, I didn't communicate. We're waiting on the valuation from our auditors to come back for the end of year adjustment. So that's why the share value. That's why we're running about a week behind on that. So just so everybody knows, okay? So I apologize. Should have kept up to date on that more often. I didn't know how long it was going to take for the adjustments on the end of year stuff. So okay. And Bob's not here to take the blame. So we're going to blame Bob today. All right. We have don't forget the audits coming up in June, so it's really important. We have instrumentation laboratories coming in and also our ISO audit, so we got to make sure we're all set for that, okay? All right, talking about visual communication. It's great. I could use a visual aid on this, but we don't have it. The goal of visual management is to communicate the problem for all to see. Note that the problem is defined as a gap between current situation and the standard. There's 4 different ways of visually communicating this gap. In level 1, each meter, so like basically they have a picture of a meter, okay, so a round circle with numbers on it, okay? So what they're saying, each meter must read separately and have its own calibration. If you look at the separate checklist, you can tell which one of these meters is out of standard. This is the weakest form of visual control, since you need a separate reference to interpret the results. So that's basically saying it's on 1. You only know it's supposed to be on 1 if you pull up the book and open the book and find out it's supposed to be on 1. Okay, so you have to look it up to find the results. Level 2, we have added the standards on labels under each meter so that you do have a reference in separate. You do not have to reference a separate document. This is a bit stronger. So basically underneath it, you'd say it's supposed to be 1. That's our standard. You can read it. So you can see it right away. You don't have to find a book to get it. This is a bit stronger. Level 3 orientates each meter so the standard is at 12 o'clock. Now any deviation from 12 o'clock is out of standard, and we can see this at a glance without reading the numbers at the interpretation. So put the standard at a high level. If you see it's moving off the needle, you know that we're off standard, so it should always be straight north. Okay? Level 4 adds a warning signal when it's out of standard. It might be even stronger to lock out the process or shut it down automatically when the meters reach some specific gap from standard. For example, any meter that reaches 2 o'clock or 10 o'clock, based on your 12 o'clock chart, shuts down the process. Obviously, that's like saying that what Cheryl did on there, if we meet our expectations, she put a smiley face, right? So that tells us right away that we were better than what we were supposed to. Okay? Unfortunately, there are a lot of information that is poorly communicated in manufacturing plants. Either the purpose of communicating the information has not been clearly thought through, or good communication skills are lacking. In many companies, in many company cultures that are more, that are active, there is an assumption that any information that is available on a computer should be found and utilized in an optimal way. There is also a lack of understanding in many companies that a standard is necessary to define a problem. All right, so we do have information, same thing, we can pull out data and we can get a number. Without the reference of that number is an opinion or an assumption, right? So without a standard or some type of needle, we don't know if that's good or bad, we just know it's a number, okay? Again, this is just, they did a Kaizen event on their engineering that was sort of neat how they went through it, set some expectations, so that's Walter's involved.